Yo, James from J. Kramer Fitness. Today, I'm going to go ahead and provide basic instruction if you are someone who is trying to figure out the proper way to do kettlebell swings. And what I'm going to do is break it down to what type of kettlebell you should be investing your money in. I'm not going to talk about the size or weight of a kettlebell you should be starting with because there is a lot of information out there, but I'm going to talk about which kettlebell I prefer in regards to a basic or a competition style kettlebell. I'm going to go ahead and provide 4 basic movements that you can go ahead and reproduce at home. And then exercise number 5 is the goal to do multiple continuous swings without breaking. So with that stated, I'm going to go ahead and share with you which of the 2 kettlebells.
So this kettlebell here, it is by Muscle Driver USA. I think it says on there 55 pounds. But I've had this kettlebell for almost 8 years by MD USA, Muscle Driver USA. What was so great about it, when I purchased it, it was $100. But if you purchase a non-competition kettlebell, be wary because the handle, the grit, is going to rip your hand. Lico competition style bell. This is a 28 kilogram kettlebell. I think it's around 72, 73 pounds. The main difference is the handle. It is polished. Now, I am not saying either that you will not get calluses, your hands are going to get bruised. However, the competition style bell is more than worth your time, money.
With that shared, I'm going to go ahead and give you 4 different exercises that you can go ahead do at home to go ahead and make sure that you properly reproduce a solid kettlebell swing. Exercise number 1, I like to call this the wall drill. I am standing butt to heel to wall. And ideally, what I've done with my clients, you want to take one and then put your other foot forward. And then you want to probably be 1.5 feet away from the wall. From here, we were talking about at the beginning of the video, we want to make sure our shins stay near vertical, knees don't activate the movement, and what we want to do is push our hips back until your butt hits the wall. Get your feet underneath your shoulders. From here, hands on the hips, and go ahead, push the hips back. As such, as you can see, somewhat, there's very little to no knee movement forward. We're trying to go ahead, activate the glutes. You should feel your hamstrings, hips back. Pretend that there's a softball underneath your chin. Hold that position. You have to put the hands on your hips, then push the hips back. Push the hips back. Very little to no knee movement forward. Shins are near vertical. Usually I go ahead and prescribe for the wall drill 2 to 3 sets of 12 to 18 or even 20 reps just to go ahead, prime that movement that we're going to go ahead and do with the kettlebell swing. So second movement I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate is, this is not my movement, but Dan John calls this the Bulgarian Goat Bag. What you're doing, I wouldn't recommend using a 55-pound kettlebell with this movement. If you're a beginner, you're not going to be starting with a 55-pound kettlebell. However, you're going to go ahead and take your kettlebell, the flat bottom of it, you're going to find your sternum. Put it right on the sternum. We're going to go ahead and incorporate the kettlebell with the wall drill. So, nice deep breath, brace the core, push the hips back, load the hamstrings up. Hips back, load the hamstrings up. Shins stay vertical, knees don't move forward. If they want to go ahead and start pushing the knees forward, what you can do is your knees, for most people, will track wherever your feet go. So I always give the coaching cue on this one. Pretend that your knees are going, if your right knee is going clockwise, left knee is going counterclockwise. As you push the hips back, pretend that your heel is a screwdriver. Right heel is going clockwise, left heel is going counterclockwise. As you push your hips back, think about that coaching cue and hips go back, knees go out. By doing that, you're opening knees out and around. You're getting the glutes and hamstrings fired up. Go ahead and get to dumbbells. Get your feet set up. Get the dumbbells in your near the sternum, and then of course do the same movement. That's back, softball underneath your chin. Think about your heel going, right heel going clockwise, left heel going counterclockwise. Push the hips back, open the knees up, and then this exercise 3A. The big thing here with this one is that we're going to be doing a pull off the floor. Now, the pull off the floor is going to be very important because with a moving kettlebell, you're going to have a bad time if it hits anywhere in between your legs or it hits you in the mommy-daddy area. So we got to find that androgynous zone for a kettlebell. Kettlebell deadlift pulls from off the floor. It's going to give a chance for you to figure out where our center of balance is in our midfoot. And so we want to make sure that our kettlebell is right below our pelvic wall. So we want to go ahead and we want to go ahead, push our hips back, load the hamstrings up by still keeping that chest vertical, keeping that good softball underneath your chin. Nice deep breath. Stand up and then push it down. Stand up, push it down. We want to go ahead, push your hips back. Very little to no knee movement forward, pushing the hips back. As such, nice deep breath. Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. 3B movement, which is we're going to go ahead and figure out where the bell should be placed in front of you, because we know kettlebell swing is not a squat, it's not a pull, it's a hinge. But the starting position is going to be out. If you're a football fanatic, you're going to go ahead and see probably NFL linemen, especially centers. Their hands are out here. You want that nice, good form. The question that all you guys are probably thinking: where do you throw the kettlebell? So I'm going to give you 2 coaching cues. This one is I'm going to give you 2 words. Suck it. So if you go ahead and do that, you follow the line right in the middle. You're going to notice it's going to be right below your zipper line. It's going to be between your legs. And then, of course, you don't want to get too high because you're going to hit your mommy-daddy area. You want to avoid that. At the same time, we don't want the kettlebell to go too low, below the knees. So ideally, the swing above the knees, probably right below the quads, and right here, right below the pelvis, or the professional term would be below your zipper line. You're going to get your stance. You're going to push your hips back. You're going to be an NFL lineman. If you're not into football, that's totally fine. If you ever seen a silverback gorilla and see how they walk, they're pushing their hips back. Their back is nice and deep. Reach for that belt. Now, if you have to adjust your stance a little bit closer, a little bit wider, so that the center of mass or your body weight is in between your feet. Nice deep breath. From here, exercise 3B. 1 rep repeats. Nice deep breath. Hike the football. And then put it down. Nice deep breath. Hike the football. Put it back down. Over and over again, so that you feel comfortable with the movement. All right, so just to wrap up what we learned in this video. Kettlebell swing is not a squat, it's not a pull, it's a hinge. You want to go ahead and make sure to do technically 5 drills. I call them 4. Exercise or movement prep 1, wall drill 2 to 3 sets to 12 to 20 reps. Exercise 2 is the Bulgarian Goat Bag. Get the flat head of your kettlebell, put it at the bottom of your sternum or at the base of your sternum. Load the hamstrings back. When you do this, coaching cue, couple coaching cues, make sure you hold a softball below your chin. And as you push your hips back and you're having problems activating those glutes and hamstrings, pretend or visualize as you push your hips back, right knee's going clockwise, left knee's going counterclockwise, When you push the knees out and around, you're gonna open up the hips and you're gonna activate the hamstrings and then the glutes. Progression number 3 is the kettlebell deadlift. Exercise 3B is to go ahead and do the stance setup where it's gonna be 1 rep at a time. Swing. The androgynous kettlebell zone is right below the socket area here above the knees. Then you're gonna go ahead and do 1 rep repeats. Swing it between the hips, hike it in the kettlebell swing area, swing it, put it down. Nice deep breath, swing it, put it back down. Finally, by putting everything together, you can go ahead and do multiple reps.